And
All
this is, okay.
right, so welcome to the July 17th Metro North Borough Community Council meeting. Thank you for everybody who's in attendance today. And I guess the first thing we're gonna do is I'll make a motion to approve our agenda and second, all in favor? Thank you. And the chair's report, I will, on the minutes from the last meeting, which were distributed. We'll make a motion. Second. Favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you all. Check. All right. Chair's report. All right, so. What should I include in the pictures of what the motor? Sorry, didn't pick it up. Anyway, on June 20th, Walter and I were present at Fulton Holland when they introduced the 7th heritage locomotive. This one is painted and it was a New York Central Standard, is that what they called it?
It was the MTA standard back in the very late 70s and early 80s.
It was just plain silver with a blue stripe on it. I'll send pictures to everybody later on. And it was nice. Few members of the public were there. The whole one guy with his two kids. One kid was totally interested in the engine, and the other one was not. It was not part of that. Ridership on Metro North is going up 5% more than it was last year. So it's all good news there. And at the capital committee meeting, capital program committee meeting last month, the board approved purchasing M9A cars going on railroad and from Metro North. They're getting 160 and we're getting 156 cars that we built in upstate New York. And Alstom will be the manufacturer. They took over from Bombardier, who built the last one for us. So the M3s, which will, sorry, the M3s, which are the oldest cars, they're the ones that look old. They're from 1984, but to Metro North's credit, they have all been refurbished many years ago. So, and I always enjoy riding in them.
But because they're not on the Long Island Railroad.
Because they're
We
not.
would not enjoy riding.
It's nice, not nice. It's, you can't say something nice. Lisa is a regular rider in these cars. So, yeah, I agree. Anyway, Subway's also gonna be getting new cars on R211s, and you'll see them on the A, C, the G now. We had major storms, and everybody probably has seen the videos online or the news of the flooding that took place at the 28th Street subway station on the #1 line. Unbelievable, but you know, it's not the subway's fault. It's the sewer systems cannot accommodate a rain of the magnitude that fell on Monday afternoon. All three east of Hudson lines suffered delays. The riders suffered delays from delayed trains. The international maintenance crew service was normal by Tuesday morning. The MTA capital program includes much needed Hudson Line resiliency projects that should address some of the longer term needs along the waterfront. However, the amount of water in the entire system always resulted in a different type of flooding. And we're all grateful that the crews were able to get service back on track as quickly as they did. So that takes care of that. All right. So we will now talk about our August field trip.
Okay, so May had been trying to sign in. I'm actually trying to message her to see if she's available, to see if she wants to jump in. We have spoken, actually it was proposed that we first picked a date. Chuck, May 14th. I wrote May, August 14th. Where's my head? Speaking about May, the itinerary is Grand Central. Has this changed? Do we have a revision, I think?
There was one revision.
Okay. Right, okay. So meet at Grand Central at 9, take the 9:20 train to Harlem on 25th.
Oh, I thought we were gonna see some of the
If you,
Okay, right.
thank you.
Alright.
Go to Harlem 125th, meet the Park Avenue Viaduct team
Oh, okay.
for that site.
Oh, beautiful.
And then take the 1103 train to the Botanical Garden and tour that site. Which is in progress for complete rehab, or for a station we have there. It was at the groundbreaking, which was interesting because they brought dirt. So that they could do shovels, tour the site, and then they have us taking the train back to Grand Central. At 12:48. However, there are lovely places to go and right around Botanic Gardens if we wanted to have lunch there. So we looked up some the Arthur Avenue. Arthur is closer to the Fordham Road Station than oh, there's Meg. Hi, May. Sorry about the technical difficulty. We were just talking about the field trip. And this is all May is our champion and our spearheader and our coordinator and as we say in my role, herding our cats. We're the cats. So there are, so May, I think that we have taken the 9:20 train to Harlem 125th, getting there by 9:31, meeting the Park Avenue Viaduct team and touring the site. Taking the 1103 train to the Botanic Gardens and touring that site. I think that that is what we had discussed.
Correct.
I didn't know if we were, yeah, I think that is what we had gotten on, and just confirming that that still works on the 14th.
Right. Yeah, I had sent you that draft itinerary, and I was just waiting for you to confirm.
Okay, that that's just, we're just having that final conversation. Does that look good to everybody?
Yes.
Oh, super. So yes. Do you need us to do anything in terms of filling out any paperwork regarding PPE? Any special attire? If you do, if you can just let us know in advance.
I will. Let me check with the team, and then I'll let you guys know. But being that it's a field trip, definitely closed boots, like no open toes or sandals or anything.
Okay, and in terms of shoulders, I've gotten in trouble for that before. Knees, I've gotten in trouble for that before.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because it is almost like an active construction site, so pants, like long pants, and yeah.
Okay. Okay.
As far as PPE, I'm sure we're gonna require hard hat and safety vest, but I'll check with the team and make sure, get back to you.
Okay, terrific. And so we can, that's awesome. And can we open it up to our other councils as well if they want to, if anybody wants to join? Is there a cap on the number?
I'm not sure. Let me check with them. For the time being, how many, including you and your staff and the MNRCC, how many do you have approximately?
But we haven't done that yet. We just did the itinerary with the time. So can we get back to you on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
why don't
and let me check to see if there's a cap.
Yeah, okay. Right, because MNRCC is the priority.
Right.
If there is any space left over, then we would ask first Andrew and Jerry, and then if available, the other councils if there is space.
Okay.
Okay, great, super, excellent, great, and then we were talking about, the fourth most important thing, which is lunch. And if, I don't know if you know of any spots up by the garden. I know that, just looking at a map, that it looks like Arthur Avenue is further down closer to Ford Road. Which is certainly doable, not walking, but riding, or there's a place that's in the garden as well. Okay. Wonderful, thank you so much.
No problem.
And Roz and Rich, if you can let us know if that date and those times will work for you as well. You don't have to do it right now, but if you can, do that, and we'll send out this draft itinerary to you.
Okay.
Oh, and also to, Francis, who wasn't able to join us today.
I'm currently planning to attend.
So Brian, can you turn the volume up?
No, it's up all the way.
Is there another source of?
I cannot find the remotes to the
Oh,
TVs.
is there something on the side that is a?
I believe she said that she's planning on attending.
Yes, okay, great. Sometimes, so I think we played with the side buttons, but okay, great. All right, so we will send the itinerary that we have and see what we can also.
Yes.
Oh, we're playing here. Speaker, maybe?
It was fun while it lasted. Now we have this giant thing in the middle. Ta-da!
There we go.
Sorry. Kind of was nice back in the old day, you know, when they just had the little dial, it's the volume on.
Yeah,
Call me old fashioned.
right. Okay. All right, great. So we'll send that out and confirm and see if there's anything else. Wonderful, and if there's anything else that pops up on the way, if you think there's another site we can hit as well, that would be great, but I know that we're looking forward to seeing those sites.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll let you know.
Thank you.
So.
Okay. So next up is bylaw revisions. Brian sent out earlier some in track change in pretty green, some proposed revisions to the bylaws, and we discussed this also at our at PCAC. This for MNRCC are really minor. They include adjusting the number to reflect the actual number of members.
Yeah, adding the bike ped number in particular.
Right, changing their the he or to, you know, them, chairman to chairperson. The adding reinforcing the attendance requirements, or confirming with the governor's office if there's anything else we need to do. And the other aspect here is the ability of the chair to appoint committees and committee chairs as appropriate. Really doesn't have much impact on MNRCC as it does on TRC. And so I don't expect the same lengthy conversation. Well, they have a different committee structure. So if I'll just explain the process and then any questions. The process is to have the conversation, see if you have any questions, and then move this to the next meeting that we have, which won't be until October. And then they would go into effect. We could either have them go into effect in November or at the beginning of the year. Because the next meeting then would be in December. But please let us know if you have any questions. I guess one big change is about the removal clause. If members who fail to follow meeting attendance requirements as they're outlined, may be removed from MNRCC for cause by 2/3 of the vote for the total membership. We're checking to make sure that that's something that we can actually do. That it is something that is, not as big an issue here.
The reason is Peter Gorey.
Yeah, but we have another council where we have somebody who just blows our form every time.
It doesn't contact us, doesn't
We haven't heard from
show up,
them.
there's no good faith effort to.
2 years.
2 years. Yeah, so,
It's for extreme cases, stuff like that.
yeah, and we're trying to just make all of our bylaws consistent with each other
There should be.
and with GCAC, so that as we look to seek some, again, minor revisions to our authorizing legislation, they're all reflected similarly. So,
So this gives us the power to remove a member who does not comply with the attendance requirements.
well, in a perfect world, but we're not sure that we live in a perfect world, so we're waiting to hear
Yeah,
what kind of world we live in. Because
that's what it seems to say.
it's what it says, it has been raised, and we are. And that's why we're checking, so we need to confirm that since the governor's appointments office. Appoints members, that the governor's office would be the one to remove. But we, for instance, the case that we have on Long Island, we have asked the. It's county executive whose office made the appointment for that individual, the predecessor, thank you, the recommendation. Their predecessor made the recommendation. I made that, I begged him as recently as last week, again, to please recommend removal and just nothing, crickets. So, you know, it's, we need to do something. So we're trying on every front to, do what we can to, get it done, so.
I can't say.
Is there
You did need me once. Yeah, it was when they did when we did the tour with the, like the scavenger hunt for signs. And before the opening of Grand Central Madison, the last time I laid eyes on him.
So we just have to go to
Yes, Rosalind has a question.
I'm wondering if it would be easier if you stated the removal differently rather than requiring a vote, to simply say a member who has not attended X number of meetings will automatically forfeit their position. So it's a forfeiture by the member as opposed to needing to remove them.
I mean, there's like things like cause and, I mean, for
sure.
reasons and.
Yeah,
Wait, attorney.
I don't know if them forfeiting is allowed by the rules.
They can resign.
They can resign, but forfeit the position because of the absences.
The
I
question
mean, it's
is,
about the wording, right?
yeah, the question is if something can happen without an action by the governor's office also. If a member doesn't resign, and this particular person, we sent a letter, we sent an email,
Right, but
That is gonna
how
go
does one
in a
forfeit
chicken
the
soup.
position if they were formally appointed?
right?
So I
They
feel
can,
like
they
the
can,
board
they
has
can
to-
resign, but they also have to
Right, but
respond.
forfeiting their position when it was already appointed, I don't know if that is allowed. We have to find out if that's
What
allowed
do you think about it?
for using that language,
Right.
but the board is actually taking action and removing someone due to inactivity.
Right.
Yeah.
It's different.
The reason I
Technically.
the reason I wrote it this way, my thought process was the attendance requirements are already explicitly spelled out in Article 4, Section 7.
Right,
And they provide a lot of flexibility, you know, if the person has good reasons for missing, either either an extended period of time or is consistently missing a bunch of meetings because of work commitments or whatever, the chair has a lot of flexibility to excuse that member as long as they're communicative and so forth. But in the event that someone is
Unresponsive.
totally unresponsive, as is the case with our LIRCC member, that there is some action that can collectively be taken by the council in order to recommend the removal. That was why I thought this would be an appropriate way to go.
So we are, still looking at it from the back end on our end to see what can be done. Part of it is, we can write a letter to the county executive asking for their removal, and then the county executive can write a letter to the governor recommending their removal.
Do we have a council we could defer to on the proper language on this, on this part, on section 1?
Usually it's Walter,
I didn't get what you said.
who our council is. That would be our COUNSEL council.
Right. What's, how we defer to council
Which
on it
section is you
for
supposed to
the,
look at?
for the language of that revision. Using the revision that's currently in here now versus what Rosalind's language,
Which section is
which
specific?
is the full.
The change, the first one in the green.
Yeah.
So
I
I
just
think,
wanna make sure it's
Yeah.
legally proper.
right, well, but that's also why we're checking with the governor's
Yeah.
office to see what can happen. What
So then
we
should,
can do.
so then should we be voting on it?
Well-
Should we wait to hear from the governor's office first?
Yeah, since we probably
Find
are
out
not
what we
gonna look
have.
at it till the beginning of implementation to the beginning of the year.
Yeah, we need to make sure we have authority to
Yeah.
do that for either language.
As long as we're talking to the governor's office, I mean, is there any way we could put language about Zoom meetings in here and short circuit?
All right, so
Probably not.
that I was gonna really say, so the open meetings law is something that they did not consider this year. Jack, you've been following that, you've been playing along at home and away. On the open meetings law, and we have signed I don't wanna say 1,000,000 letters, cause that's an exaggeration, but 500,000 letters on, in support of changes to the open meetings law, back to allow for greater remote participation. Right now, if you give your publicly accessible address as a location, then it counts towards a quorum. Right now, Richard is not at a publicly accessible location, but he counts towards a quorum because we have, or he can vote, his vote counts in a quorum because we have a quorum. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a quorum if we didn't have enough in-person or other publicly accessible locations. So we're trying to get the open meetings law revised. We have a lot of heavy hitters who are trying to do that. It didn't get to the,
They didn't wanna do it this year because the law doesn't expire till next year, so they're not proactive,
yeah,
reactive, not proactive.
right,
So you need the standard.
yeah. So, but we're gonna, but that gives us the ability to push even harder next year, and I think the disability rights organizations have been really strong on that because it's super hard.
Yeah, many of them.
Yeah, and you lose voices when you couldn't serve on the bridge.
What's the say, Bridget?
On the bridge authority, because it's too far to travel all the time.
Yeah,
Right.
because they mean he's completely else.
Right. So, yeah, so let us find out, we'll continue to push. We were pushing at a time when they were going through all of their, their approvals for new and, ongoing board members.
But isn't this vote is just to advance it, it's not to approve it.
Right, but nobody knows if we can advance as a whole.
I don't know, we have
Yeah.
the authority to do that.
Yeah, you have to-
Find out first.
Yeah.
I don't wanna pass some, I personally wouldn't wanna vote on something without knowing if I have legal authority to do it. I don't wanna get in trouble.
When you're
I mean,
permanent
we
record,
could,
right?
but
Which is
we
permanent.
should really find out if we
Yeah.
have proper legal authority. Yeah.
Right. We'll follow up again today. It's almost like a monthly thing, but we can make it weekly. And we can, follow up in the governor's office, which you
Yeah.
did, I think, right? On some level, and we'll follow up,
Alright, great.
otherwise.
No. Oh, no, I have been watching stuff.
Oh.
I didn't get that update.
Oh, yes,
I've
sorry.
got a jacket for him.
Well, if we, yes, we were advised, that after our, public display of insubordination, that unfortunately we were not able to be accommodated. But it is also next, in 2 weeks, there will be the July financial plan.
Rosalind, does that make sense? Just to kind of check back, make sure like we have proper authority to use either language.
I agree.
Okay. So we'll try, we can even try and find out on our field trip, because it sounds like we'll have a form.
Oh, sure.
Excuse me. Okay. Excellent. That is that. Executive Director's report. BCAC staff has been very busy. We've put out 3 reports in 2 weeks.
1 week.
1 week,
Just, 8 days.
8 days. Just over a week.
Wow.
Calendar
Yeah.
days, what?
It's been amazing, this speed of light or lightning, might be more appropriate these days. The first was, actually, Brian, Jack, why don't you guys talk about it, since I just look like I do the work.
Yeah, the first piece was a white paper in response to some of the recommendations that have come out of the Mayor's Charter Revision Commission for the city. Trying to promote strategies to increase the housing supply in New York City. We thought that there was, in their initial report, which came out in March, that there was very little discussion of transit and the relationship between housing and transit in the city. And wanted to expound on some, what we thought were good ideas to make that connection a little more explicit. You know, and the most natural connection is the zoning for accessibility laws that have gone into effect, that the Department of City Planning has been working hard on. Which has a number of functions, you know, building direct elevators directly into buildings that serve the subway system. But or lend money towards improvements off-site. So we put together some ideas on how to expand that. The city is already in the process of working on what will be the next generation of that zoning legislation. Essentially zoning for accessibility 2.0. So we're having some follow-up conversations on that piece, but also had just some other thoughts about how the city and MTA can work together a little more closely to promote housing that will feed the transit system and vice versa, as a, you know, a virtuous cycle essentially between those two things.
The 4 new stations for Penn, that are Penn Access in the Bronx. Well, one of them's basically going into what's already a housing development location without the transit. So the others will have changes to the zoning, so that they are more attractive to housing.
I think 2027 is still the date they're talking to get into service.
For Penn Access,
Yeah.
I haven't heard differently,
No news is good news.
but we haven't heard anything about Penn Station, so who knows? Except we haven't heard anything, except that they're gonna tell us something sometime.
Okay.
Still doing it all.
The other report was a report that our other intern, Henry, did on bus rapid transit, real bus rapid transit, and recommendations for bringing that to New York. So including the international standards for stop spacing, center lining, double-sided vehicles, accessible stations, with bare gates as a possibility, and you wanna go into more? on
Platform,
that?
platform screen doors, level boarding,
And
improved wayfinding, just a number of elements that can make it easier to navigate, reduce fare invasion, increase bus speeds and reliability, the whole gamut.
And a couple of recommendations, specific recommendations, and work closely with the MTA bus team
Yeah.
on that. And also city DOT. And then the third report was, as you may have seen, our report on that was born out of some of the news reports from issues that came when Omni expanded rapidly at the beginning of June. And we launched a survey to get people's input about their experiences, and it ran from June 2nd to July 7th. And we got about 400, or a tiny response to a push poll, as it has been called by the MTA.
Really?
Oh, yeah,
They would not have.
Do we know how many people are using Omni?
a lot, it's
Yeah.
like 75% of users, and the transition is to senior disabled riders, to people on WageWorks and other transit check.
Yeah.
Users is happening differently, they're not all that well, students are doing it, staff doesn't have it yet.
And we only have 400.
Right, but it was, you know, we
We
put
didn't
it out
spend any
there.
money on this, it was just people spending their own free time to give us constructive feedback.
Yeah, we put it out on our social, we, you know, sent it out to our folks, it was over July 4th, it was, you know, it was. But the people who responded were passionate. We also asked people what they wanted to see, how Omni could be improved. Now, Omni isn't just the Omni card, it's the whole tax system. And you know, what the improvements, are basically what we've been talking about for years, which are transferability to Metro North, Long Island Railroad. Put it on, you know, so you do a back end with Omni and train time so that you can tap and go across systems, including a city ticket weekly, a longer time, a fare cap for like a monthly fare cap. People largely had good experiences, but we had, during that period of time of our survey, 3/4 of the people said that they had problems. And that had been widely reported as well. And people also wanted to see the ability to transfer to the ferry, the New York City ferry, probably Beacon, Newburgh would be a good one too. To be able to go to City Bike and to other modes of transportation. So, you know, there was some really good feedback that we think would move organizations to behoove the MTA to, you know, pay attention to. And it comes at a time when the fare hearing, well, the fare change proposals should be coming up in the next 2 weeks, we think. Maybe, as part of the July budget plan. Well, now we are too, but, so what am I missing in terms, well, also recommendations on better communication.
Yeah.
Better ways to tell people how to fare cap, because a lot of people didn't actually reach their fare cap within the 1 week period. Because maybe they were using 2 different cards, or their Omni card, a credit card, and that doesn't necessarily match. And to make it look better, like a better brand, visually, so that you can tell what one is and what the other is, or that they're related. Doesn't have to look like a Metro card, but looks very alien. So that you can, when you tap your card or whatever it is, you can see how close you are to your fare cap. So that you can see how much money you may have left on an Omni card. I bought a 1 week unlimited from a machine, and I tapped it, and it said that my card was good until 2027. Like, that's
Awesome.
super, but how many rides do I have to go to a fare cap? You know, what do I do? 'Cause I will just get off at every station until I hit a fare cap. That's just me. I know that people can't do that all the time, but I wanna make sure I do that. And other better communication, to riders,
Yeah,
so.
and they should incorporate these suggestions sooner rather than later.
Yeah, exactly.
People can see with their number of rides they have left.
Yeah, I think the issues folks, riders encountered at the beginning, especially late May, early June, really did erode the trust in the system a little bit because, you know, people were getting 10 charges all at one time and couldn't match that up with their mental history of what they had ridden. You know, so seeing immediately on the screen where it just says go and gives you a green light now that, oh, my transfer was honored, or, yeah,
So have they taken steps to implement that?
they said they're working on it.
Before we released this, we sat down with the MTA folks and said, this is what we're doing, and they did have some requests, and we did make some adaptations. Apparently not necessarily enough.
Very reasonable.
Yeah, really.
Thanks.
It's not like you.
I mean, this is a really fair report.
Yeah, thank you. That's why people don't wanna use it.
It's, yeah,
I waited a while. I was like, yeah, let some of the glitches get out of the way first before I decide I wanna be a guinea pig, use the card.
so that's why I bought a card.
I use the card and I know what you mean, you know.
I used a card, Carrie
I
used
see what the
a
balance is.
credit card. And you can go online and you can sign up and you can create an account, but I
Right.
just using a card, I'm like, I didn't actually know I could do that, and if I do that with a card. Can I connect it to a credit card so that if I tap with my credit card, it counts to the fare?
Does it?
I don't know. But I'm not gonna find out, maybe I will.
My grandson took my grandson to the city where, last month we walked the parade of trains. And so I had to pay for it, and I got charged, I saw him, I could tap, so I know it works.
Yeah.
My credit card.
But we got a lot of media coverage,
Will you have it on automatic reload? Your card?
but you
Yeah,
can just
I'm
do it on
No,
your.
no, I
Tap, tap, tap.
No, but just, we took 3 separate chocolate chips. So I just tapped that, I don't, because I'm retired there, so
No, I know that, but I'm saying, is it, you use the Omni card, not?
no, I use my
card?
credit card.
Oh, you use the
I have a
credit card, okay. I don't use the credit card, I use the Omni.
No, I just use the credit card, it's not assigned to anything, it's just tap like a credit card.
I'm not comfortable with that method.
I do that way.
Also, I don't have that.
When I travel with my husband and he's not fast enough, I just have my card in my hand for a pound, just a credit card, because he takes it, he stops, takes out his wallet, looks through his cards, and I'm like.
Yeah.
Nobody else is using the phone?
What's that?
Nobody else is using their phone?
Well, if he is using the phone, he stops, he takes out his phone, he unlocks his phone, and I've got my card in my
Yes,
hand,
he's
because I've got
not
my Metro card in my hand.
He's holding everybody up.
Well, he's holding me up, I don't care about anybody else, so.
It's not like Cubic isn't making enough money out of this contract, they really should be more responsive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's one of our hopes is that this will give the MTA some ammunition to continue to hold their feet to the fire.
I've been out of Jamaica a couple of times.
Any more press?
And I was just watching the people go into the air train. And so you have 3 options, you still can use Metro card, and use a credit card or Omni. But more people were using the Omni machines today, so we're using the PAD's own system, which is almost identical to ours. But they just went with the hardware company, it makes no sense, but that's the point about it.
Bad press and bad tweets.
Right?
Any bad press and bad tweets
Yeah,
to get on it, maybe.
the Port Authority, but the thing I've
Even
seen at
with
the,
Omni, like,
at the,
any more people fussing about it.
well, then they just
It looks like,
debase and debunk.
like you said, they're not proactive, they're reactive.
When I ride air train, if I see people who are international travelers having their credit card,
Yeah.
they're denied. Because either they haven't told their credit card company they're there, they don't have a zip code to put in, or they have to get through other things first, so. Okay,
Does anybody know if they're going to put Omni card machines in Grand Central where they used to have Metro card machines? In the Metro, one of the Metro North, not an office, but one of the rooms where they
We
have Metro
should
North
have
machines.
some.
They used to have two
Yeah.
Metro machines
Yeah.
in there, and there's nothing, once there's nothing in there anymore other than.
Huh.
But
Metro
that,
North
you don't
machines.
need to have a Metro card, you need a credit card.
Yeah, you don't need an Omni card. You can just-
If you know people who wanna get Omni cards and reload their Omni cards in a convenient place.
I don't know, there's still, maybe there are there, I haven't looked. But I think the majority of people just use their phone or their watch or,
No, they credit
or
card.
their credit card. Yeah.
Maybe said.
Nobody's talking to us. Right now,
Nope, I guess not.
yeah,
No Omni machine.
no. No Omni machine for you, but we can certainly ask, on the field trip,
Yeah.
we can ask them.
It makes it a little more convenient, and easier for people coming in or going out and what.
Well, actually, what would make it easiest is if they could use their train time app with a back-end Omni, so that once they do their train time, they could just use it at the
I
same.
get it, but not
Yeah,
everyone.
honestly, we're overcomplicated.
Yeah,
There should be no Omni machine, everybody can use a credit card.
Yes.
I mean, like.
Yeah.
But you know, you have these so-called unbanked people.
Yeah, I understand, but you can do that through retail channels, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, to Brian's point, they should be focusing their time and energy on educating people about the system, as opposed to trying to run a giant retail distribution network.
But they were still, Metro
It's
card
true.
machines.
Right. Well, we're talking about the Omni cards, but if you take away the Omni card and you shift people to the phone and the credit card, then that just solves problems. Less problems that way.
Unless people start to see 10 trips that they didn't all take and they can't see when they tap their credit card, how close they are to fair tap.
But that's why
Omni.
people, that's part of the reason why people using the Omni card. That's
Yeah.
why I'm not using my credit card.
Yeah.
Because I don't trust the system.
Yeah, well,
I'm
they have
using
to,
the Omni
we
card.
need to fix the system.
Because the
People
other
had-
systems that exist are not efficient and there's always, it looks like there's glitches. So in the meantime, I'm gonna use my Omni card. I don't trust it.
There were definitely fewer
Yeah.
issues with the Omni card than there were with people's personal.
Yes.
Of our tiny sample,
Anyway,
tiny personal.
we're preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
Gross.
So, but we clearly hit a nerve,
Yeah.
which means we're doing our job. But, and I told Michael downstairs that we blame. Or,
Told
no, I said, remember how you told us, yeah, you were like, I should push the
We
MTA
should have
harder.
more, we have more issues with the MPA.
Yeah. I said, we blame you.
Now we're the dog house, thanks.
We can't blame Mike, it was my idea.
Maybe you can, I know. And so we have some other things that are in the works that we will, that are still relatively amorphous. Jack had a wonderful session and wonderful time in Albany but we're gonna get a bigger apartment. We do not have an apartment in Albany. Next year so that we can sort of ramp up some additional legislative things. And we will at PCAC in September come a call and asking for some thoughts on legislative priorities for next year.
And you came close to getting votes for Andrew, Jerry, and myself.
Yes.
Yes,
That's the Senate, not the Assembly. That
so
was a nice win.
that's our,
He is both.
yeah.
Burns.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And this year, Jack was able to get to the finish line, the changes for the voting structure or the recommendation structure for LIRCC. We currently need to have 3 recommendations for vacancy. It passed the Assembly this year, but not the Senate. Last year it passed the Senate and not the Assembly.
Thrilling. It's great.
Yeah.
Not maddening at all.
So, trying to, find some way to kumbaya that and make it all.
There's still the stalemate with getting any additional members from other counties until we get that one.
Westchester. So, I need to still reach out to John. But when is the election for the Westchester County Executive?
This fall.
This fall, so it doesn't, I don't know,
Is it probably gonna be a continuation of who's there now, do you think?
That's the expectation.
so, but we did, and it doesn't behoove
just-
us to do anything until after that election, because probably. Because if he makes a recommendation and then isn't elected, then the next person has to start over. I don't know if they change it with.
No, I
their-
understand, I would be,
elect-
I,
Yeah,
given the demographics and the tenor of the, I would be very surprised if he doesn't.
Cause it's
I don't think it's
Democrat
worth
versus
the time.
Republican, right?
I'm sorry?
It's a Democrat and.
Yes,
it's a
Catherine,
Republican.
it's Catherine Stolpe. I would be I don't think it's wasted time to approach that.
I don't know if anybody there is volunteering their time for. Yes, also other, please, we should get a member from. Other places too. No, first, we need
Yeah,
Westchester.
yeah, yeah.
But any elected official can make a recommendation, so. And the Bronx, anybody. Okay, that's my report at this moment. Congestion pricing continues. Stay tuned. John Duffy, Jerry Nadler.
The coverage this morning suggested that a ruling is, it said, the Times article said a ruling is imminent, but it did not say what kind of ruling or where.
So that seemed to be, you mean the desperation that John Duffy is grasping at straws? Here is what I know, because of, here's what I know. Because I asked this week. The main action now is MTA versus Duffy in federal court versus before Judge Lyman, who's handled a related case and has previously ruled in favor of New York in upholding the validity of the environmental review. In this case, he's already granted a TRO and a preliminary injunction, blocking Secretary Duffy from taking action to upend the program or to withhold federal transportation funds from New York. Summary judgment motions filed by both the MTA and the Secretary are now pending. A date for oral arguments has not been set yet. This was on Friday. We expect things will move rather quickly with a final ruling in September or October. Never know what will happen in litigation, but there's reason for cautious optimism. And I said, is there something still happening in New Jersey? And the response was, there is a loose end still in the New Jersey case, but that judge has been on the slow track and is unlikely, that's how it was spelled, and is unlikely to act until after Lyman rules. There are, yeah.
And the other thing to point out that I think we're all aware is that, we said that congestion pricing would become more popular once it was in place, and we were right.
It's working quite well.
Yeah.
We have a lot of facts on our side now, so you know how it's working and it's helping an awful lot of people get around faster and bringing in money that's really needed, so it's a win-win all around, except for maybe some people got high in this district, I guess, in North Jersey.
They're doing very well too, because
Yeah,
their
they have
ride is
traffic.
faster on the bus.
It's been better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I spoke at the conference in Washington on Monday, and I basically said. I said that congestion pricing wasn't even an issue in the mayoral race primary here. It really was more, it's more of an issue in Washington
Yeah,
than it is in New York City.
which is ridiculous.
So,
But now, before they were just guessing and there were hypotheticals and all sorts of things might happen and might not happen. But now it's working and you can see the results of it, the facts are out there. It was kind of hard now at this point to try to turn it back.
well, there are air quality results out as well, so.
Right, that's right.
Okay, Jack, social.
New report.
Who's fighting this, who it is.
So 3 things this week. A rider asked whether the railroad plans to bring back quiet cars. They replied that they do not at this time. Another rider
Hold
suggested.
on. Boz, why you keep asking the same question to the MTA? Kidding.
Another rider suggested that zone transferability between the New Haven, Hudson, and Harlem lines be equal. The railroad replied that riders can transfer between the Hudson and Harlem and New Haven lines, but only for weekly and monthly tickets going to or from Grand Central or Harlem on 20th Street.
Mhm.
So it's like they walk on where you can use it to whatever zone or whatever day.
Yeah.
Well, we did put that as a recommendation in our report, last year on tax first tax.
Rationalizing.
Rationalize.
Haven-
That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Are
Time
they,
flies.
are they saying that if somebody has a monthly ticket on the New Haven, they can use that on the Hudson?
That's the right.
Yes,
Yeah.
Or weekly.
So that's what we're recommending.
no, that's what they
Are
said
they
you
doing
can do.
it?
Yeah.
Because that's a new one to
You
me.
can do that. But you can't do it if you buy, like, right now, if I buy a ticket on the Long Island Railroad to Zone 12 to patch up, I can use it to go to Port Chaffee.
Right.
But if I buy a ticket on the Hudson to a one-way, to pick a station, I can't use it on the New Haven to go to a equidistant
Right.
station on a
That
different
only
one.
works for commutation tickets. Right. Monthly tickets, yeah.
New Haven fares are scheduled to go up in September.
Just in Connecticut,
To-
does that make sense?
So that,
Yeah, it's low.
Lastly, a rider was frustrated that there were no Yankee Clipper trains where they wanted to go see a game, but the railroad clarified that they were mistaken and gave them some trip information. And the rider blamed her husband.
I just saw something that looked like a balloon, but it's actually, it was the guy.
Oh my God.
So what's different
That's all I have.
about the New Haven is that, because they're further out, so they can raise their fares. But when New Jersey Transit raises their fares, they're up against the block with New York.
Yeah, no, I know, I've looked at the New Haven fares before, I think they're actually pretty low compared to Hudson. So, it makes sense that the fare in Connecticut would go up.
Okay. Staff updates?
That we have, well, right now, we're currently fully staffed. We have 2 staff who are in international waters,
That's right.
Great.
All right.
Eric and Jessica. We're both riding, transit in, international cities.
This is all business. Else?
Right.
Wait, we got a
I'm
hand up,
sorry,
we got
yes.
a hand up.
I have a question. You guys provided a summary of our recommendations. I think Mike had requested that. And I thought that was a good list of items. My question is, so what do we do with it? Would it be worth our while to look at that in terms of the status to see if there are items that should be taken off or items that we should take additional steps on? But I thought the list itself was good, but it's like, okay, now, so what do we do with it?
I mean, I think there's a number of things depending on, it might behoove us to like, at the next meeting, go through them one by one and see what
Yeah.
still makes sense, what doesn't.
Yeah.
And for some, we could do something like a petition maybe, or some other work to get some other folks to join us in those recommendations and present them to Metro North leadership or something like that. There's a number, depending on what the actual
Yeah.
recommendations are.
We'll pull the list out again next week and, see where we think things are, and.
I mean, my interpretation upon seeing the list is that it was all stuff that we had heard individually that you were working on at various times, but just
Yeah.
like getting the product.
Yeah, no, yep.
Not-
Progress.
Okay.
We'll add that for next time, if
Anything
not
else?
sooner. Excellent.
Rich, anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so then I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We approved the minutes and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
See you, hope we'll see you all next month.
All right.
Thank you.
Always
Thank you.
always a fun time.